Hello, mixtresses and mixters. This is Mixtress Ray. You're watching Mixtress Video, and I just received this in the mail. This isn't a, I was going to do an unboxing. This isn't a true unboxing because I ordered it from eBay and it didn't come like wrapped in the plastic or anything. So it's possible that it's been unboxed already. Like I would assume that, I mean, it's not like used, but I would assume that it did have plastic on it at some point. But right now it does not. So I wanted to put this up though really quickly. I have like looked through it just for a moment, but not really spent time with it yet. But I wanted to get this up on YouTube as soon as possible because there aren't very many reviews up yet on YouTube for this particular Oracle deck. And so when I was thinking about buying it, like I always do, I looked up YouTube reviews and I didn't see a whole bunch of them. So I'm excited to bring this to you guys today for anybody that's been, I wasn't able to find any YouTube videos. I mean, they're probably up by now by the time you see this, but I wasn't able to find any that showed every single card. And that is something that's important to me because, yeah, anyway. So I'm doing this for you guys. I'm just getting it up real quick, which means I just kind of I'm in my like grubby cleaning the house clothes and I just received this and I set up the tripod and we're just going to do it right now. So here it is. The Amenti Oracle is Feather Heart Deck and Guidebook, Ancient Wisdom for the Modern World. It is the 42 Principles of Ma'at in Oracle card form. So each of the principles is on a card. The art is this just super, to me, this is super captivating. It's like Art Nouveau meets Aliens. I am very into it. And it's got this great, the box is, let's see, do I have something that I can show you guys a reference point? Let me just grab a tarot card. That is within my reach right now. The box is just barely bigger than the deck. So like here is a standard Low Scare Bale. This is kind of a smaller tarot card actually, just against the box. So it's not like as big as the Wild Unknown box or anything like that. It is a reasonably sized, like I have small hands, but this is a reasonably sized little box. And it has this beautiful little magnetic closure. And then to get it all in the shot here. Yeah, that's good enough. 42 Ideals of Ma'at in Daily Life by Jennifer Sodini, and it's got this gorgeous little guidebook with the feathers inside. It's a little stiff, like I feel like I'm gonna have to crack the spine to like really get in there, and I'm okay with that. This book is dedicated to the power and potential of the human heart. It's got these gorgeous, like, full page reproductions of some of the cards, like without the text, which I think is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm excited to read through this because this is rare for me. Like, usually whenever I decide that I maybe want a tarot deck or an oracle deck, I will spend days, maybe weeks, just sort of like consuming every single video I can get my hands on, I will follow the hashtag on Instagram, and I'll just spend like weeks with a deck before I ever even buy the deck. But with this, I saw it on Instagram and I realized it was the 42 Principles of Ma'at, which I actually have handwritten in my journal right now. I just recently discovered the 42 Principles of Ma'at and I'm super into the whole thing and I want to know more about it. And this art sings to me in a way that I kind of want to cry right now. Like, this is just so it's just so powerful. This art is, man, give it up to all the creators that are doing Oracle and Tarot decks right now. It is such a unique thing when you think about it to have, like with the tarot deck, it's 78 pieces of art in one little deck. How fucking cool is that? Just thinking about that as a concept. Like, I know I've probably said that before on this channel, but I really do find it. I think this book is going to get a lot of use for sure. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to do just a straight unboxing for people that don't normally watch my channel that probably don't care about all this babbling shit. But I can't stop. I am a babbler. So it's this nice kind of velvety insert here. I kind of want to take it out just to see what's underneath. Hey, the design goes through the whole box. So for those of you that like to use these little boxes for different things, kind of cool. Okay, so that's the box. Let's go ahead and set that aside and get into the cards. And I will read from the guidebook. I will draw a card at the end. Maybe we can get even closer, right? You want to get as close as possible. I do. Okay, here we go. So it's just a, kind of a standard, like it's a nice matte finish tuck box. So it's like nicer than some tuck boxes, but it is a tuck box. And mine didn't have, like any plastic on the cards or anything. I don't know if they normally come with that or not. I'll just set this right here. These are the card backs. Not really reversible, like in theory, yes, but there are some slight differences if you look close. But I don't really care about that. Like, I really don't. So, let's just flip through these cards and just take them in, man. Maybe we can get even closer. Let's get as close as possible. There we go. I honor virtue. I benefit with gratitude. How important is that, honestly, as just a general principle of morality and just being a good human in daily life? Anytime you benefit with gratitude. Be thankful for everything that you receive. It's so important. I am peaceful. My God, this art. Oh, just to discuss the cardstock, it is very matte. I don't know anything about like GSM. It's not super thick, but it's not super thin. It's really kind of delicious. It reminds me of, if you've ever had a first edition of the Wild Unknown tarot. It's slightly different in the finish, like it's a little bit more buttery than the Wild Unknown first edition, but it has kind of a similar feel to it, if that makes any sense. Okay, refocus, honey. Refocus. I feel like it's not quite perfect. There we go. I respect the property of others. Very important. I affirm that all life is sacred. That's a hard one for me because I am a ruthless killer of ants and things like that are in my house. Like, no, I don't try to save those creatures. So that sometimes makes me sad that I'm definitely not respectful of all life. I give offerings that are genuine. That's important too, because I feel like if you pulled this card, you could really say to yourself, what am I giving of myself that isn't genuine? So this could really be a card of like pulling back a little bit, maybe not giving so much of yourself, because if it isn't genuine, your heart isn't completely in it, then it's not really worth it. I never want someone to be spending their time helping me and giving a shit about me and giving things to me if they don't really want to do it, you know? That's a big deal. I live in truth. These cards are like inspiring me in a way that makes me want to like draw every single one of these cards. So it might be something that I do. I regard all altars with respect. This is a great one too, because it doesn't matter if you believe the same types of things that someone else does. It doesn't matter. If they've created their own sacred space, respect it. I speak with sincerity. I consume only my fair share. I offer words of good intent. I also love the font. I just love everything about this. This is so well done and so beautiful. I didn't even, like, a month ago, I would have said I don't really care about Oracle decks. But I now have a handful. I have a few Goddess Oracle decks, which you'll see on my channel popping up. I just filmed a video for like all my Oracle decks the other day, so you'll see them coming up. I have 3 Goddess Oracle decks, 2 Animal Spirit Oracle decks. I have the Work Your Light Oracle, and now I have this Amenti Oracle. And I know I'm gonna pull one of these cards every single day. I relate in peace. I honor animals with reverence. I can be trusted. I care for the earth. I keep my own counsel. So for when I first discovered the 42 principles of Ma'at and I wrote them all down in my journal, my first intention was I want to use this in some way. Like, do I want to recite all 42 of these principles at my altar every single day? You know, what do I want to do with this information? You know, and this person, Jennifer Sodini, she took that concept and she took it to its full potential. You know, she created a whole Oracle deck. And now I have that answer for myself as well. I'm going to pull one of these cards every single day, and I'm going to meditate on whichever principle comes up in the cards for me every single day. And what gorgeous cards to look at while you're doing that. I speak positively of others. That's so fucking important too, right? Hard to do sometimes. Even if you have to say something shitty about someone else. Like, sorry, apparently I'm also just going to babble about these principles in general. Even if you kind of like have to complain about someone else, you can frame it in a positive way. I have this friend, Laura, who is incredible at that. Like, she could be just like totally bitching about someone else, but you would almost not know it because she is speaking from a place of love and understanding while also telling her own truth about her frustration in the situation without being an asshole about it. She's speaking positively of others, even when she's bitching about them, you know? And it's so commendable, and I study her for that particular quality. Sorry, I just cleaned my house, so I'm having my little celebratory black cherry carbonated water beverage. I remain in balance with my emotions. How gorgeous. All I'm saying is just like, oh my God, look at this art. Oh my God, look at this art. There's not a single one of these cards so far that I have not vibed with. I am trustful in my relationships. Very important. I hold purity in high esteem. This is one that, like, on paper, I'm like, okay, what the fuck does that mean? That sounds a little, like, triggering if you came up in like a Christianity religious background. Sorry, I want to make things perfectly symmetrical. I don't know if I even can. Not really, but I think I just made it worse. But the imagery kind of helps it for me. You know, she is standing on a pedestal with her chakras all aligned. She is naked, so the purity is not like puritanical purity, or else she wouldn't be naked, you know. Her chakras are aligned. They're all glowing equally. So it's almost like taking the word purity and sort of redefining it in sort of an inner self kind of journey, I feel. I spread joy. You know what this reminds me of? The first time, I'm kind of ashamed to say this, but the first time I ever heard the song I Feel Love by Donna Summer, which is one of the most beautiful expressions of joy, I think, ever. Just my personal opinion, I think it is a perfect celestial expression of joy. If you've never heard Donna Summer's I Feel Love, look it up. It is gorgeous and beautiful. And the first time I ever heard it was in a Just Dance game, and they had it kind of looked like this. It was sort of a glowing figure in a backdrop of space dancing to that song. And this reminds me of that. So I'm just always going to, I might even, like when I draw this card, I'll have to play that song just to sort of activate it, you know? This is an important one for me. I do the best I can. The best I can is good enough. Isn't that a Radiohead lyric? It's either Radiohead or just Tom York. Solo work. I don't know. One of the two. It's his voice. I communicate with compassion. So many people just like don't do that. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I find it strange that it seems like in basic everyday interactions with other human beings, a lot of people are just not coming from a place of empathy and compassion. They're not thinking about what it feels like to be the other person. And it's so weird that people don't just automatically do that, but some people really don't. So if you're one of those people that doesn't automatically think about what it's like to be in someone else's shoes, I know this doesn't have the word empathy on it, but empathy is a part of compassion, and you have to have empathy. You have to be able to put yourself into someone else's shoes in order to have compassion for them, I think, in general. This deck is just really like activating a lot for me. I listen to opposing opinions. Oh my God, yes. This is one of my favorite ones. Especially like right now. I mean, it feels like America, especially, which is where I live. Obviously, you can probably hear my Midwest accent. This is something that like people are like worried about civil war and like all this shit, and this is something that we all need to take to heart right now. I would not be surprised if people that get this deck pull this card often. It is very important that people feel heard, even if what they're saying is just like so if someone, you know, you have to accept that people are on different wavelengths. People are at different places in their psychological development and their development in general. People are at different places in their development in general, and you really have to accept that they're at their own part in their own journey, in their own path, even if what they're saying is so awful. But if you make them feel heard and you express your opinions in a gentle and compassionate enough way, sometimes you can actually have productive conversations with people. But it doesn't happen if you're not listening to what they are saying. Even if you hate what they're saying, even if they're very backwards in their thinking, you can know that. but still make them feel heard. And that's the only way you're going to get someone to move forward a little bit in their development, to come a little bit closer to where you are. If you're going to be a teacher for someone, you have to make them feel respected. You have to make them feel heard. So this is important. This is so important. I create in harmony. I invoke laughter. I gotta say, as far as how well these are photographing, like on my video right now, maybe I just have the perfect lighting and it's just like the perfect moment, but these cards are showing up pretty much exactly the way they look in person. It is just, everything is coming through so clear with this Oracle deck. I am open to love in various forms. God, this is one of my favorite images. One of my so favorite images. I am forgiving. Like, she's crying and she's hurt, but she's still going to forgive you. I am kind. Ah, how special is it to see a snake and a flame? She's got a flame coming out of her fingertip. And have that associated with kindness. That's a unique choice. I like that. I act respectfully of others. I am accepting. This to me looks like the current winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, Evie Oddly. She just has a vibe, even though her skin is white, but she has a vibe that is Evie Oddly to me. Do any of you guys agree? Let me know in the comments. I follow my inner guidance. Also so important, like, I think the main point, for me at least personally, with tarot decks and oracle decks and all that kind of stuff, it's about tuning in to your, like people say, your inner knowing, your own truth, tuning into what you know to be true for yourself. You are finding your answers that are already there. You just have to dig in to find them. So, you know, this whole thing, all of it, tarot, oracle, all of it is about following your own inner guidance. I converse with awareness. Know what you're fucking talking about, you know? Don't talk about it if you don't know anything about it, or at least admit that you don't know anything about it if you still feel like talking. I do good. I give blessings. I keep the waters pure. This is one that, as far as the 42 principles of Ma'at, like looking at them on paper for the first time, this is the one that I was like, what the fuck? I keep the waters pure. But I think it's just because that would, when these principles were probably created, it would have been, that would have been more important, you know, to make sure that you didn't contaminate the water. Like, we are so lucky in our time period that, you know, for the most part, a lot of us, at least where I live, like the water that comes out of my tap, I just turn on a faucet and I've got fresh, clean water right there. No assembly required. But I keep the waters pure is something that I'll have to kind of ask myself, how am I going to define what this means for me? That will be something I'll have to journal about when I pull that card. I speak with good intent. Some of these are a little redundant. Like, I feel like there's others in here that have the same message as I speak with good intent. you know, but still gorgeous. And 42, sacred number, right? It's the meaning of all life. Meaning of life. I praise the goddess and the god. This one's going to be a challenging one for me when I pull it, because I very much shy away from any masculinized energy. I'm very much like repelled by the god energy, because it's just, you know, in our society, we are in a patriarchy, so that's just shoved down our throats at all times. But it's good to remind yourself that there is a divine masculine, and there are good examples of that in around us. We just have to be more accepting and praise them when we see them, even though it's rare. I am humble. I achieve with integrity. I advance through my own abilities. I embrace the all. That's the last one. I embrace the all. Okay, let's shuffle a card and then we will get a sense of the guidebook. Oh, these cards, they feel good in my hand. They're gorgeous. They're transformative. The art is amazing. Sorry, I'm shuffling off camera because I can't really shuffle onto the surface that you're seeing right now, because it's my keyboard. It's just like this little squishy area, and it will not go well if I try to shuffle on that surface. I've done it before. I like that they're not numbered. I don't really like a numbered oracle deck. That will make it a little difficult to find the card that you pull in the guidebook, I will assume, unless there's some kind of organization to it that I don't know yet. We're about to find out. Okay, this card is... Okay, no, I'm not ready yet. I thought I was ready, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready to pull one yet. It shuffles beautifully. They're not too thick. I think they're going to end up, they're already sort of getting like a little bit of a bend to them. Not that that matters. Like, I'm just kind of a hard shuffler, and I don't really care about having bends in my cards. You know, I'm all about just using your goddamn cards, you know. They're so sumptuous. I like touching them. That's very important to me. Tactile. Sorry, I'm shuffling too long, so you're looking at nothing right now while I'm shuffling. Okay. I just, like, one hasn't jumped out yet. I want one to jump out. We need all these principles of that right now. Here we go. Two of them came out. I am kind and I relate in peace. I will choose I am kind because I just like the image a little bit more. So here it is. I am kind. And then let's find it in the guidebook. Is there a table of contents? Or do you kind of have to... There is. Oh no, this isn't a table of contents. This is just them all listed. But I guess it will show what order they're in. I am kind. Let's find that. I mean, there's only 42, so even though it's a little bit annoying to have to read through all of them to find it. I am kind, number 29, which is not the page number. But that's okay. I mean, it is going to take a second. Like, if that's really annoying to you, that is a thing. But I don't mind. I mean, how else are you going to do this? Okay. I am kind. So this is just... It's just thoughts. It's thoughts. Oh, I didn't really show you, like... I mean, I kind of flipped through a little bit of the guidebook, but there's a foreword, there's an introduction. So what is Amenti? I'm excited to read all of that. How to use the cards. There's a couple of card layouts, a 1-card lesson of the day, which is how I'll be using it for the most part, 3-card spread, and there is a 4-card spread, The Life of My Story. And then there's also a 5-card spread, Between the Knower and Known. So let me give you just like a little glimpse of this 5-card spread here. Okay. Oh, and then a 6-card spread too. I just keep thinking, okay, well that's probably all the spreads, but there are, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6-card spread, so 6 different spreads in here. As above, so below is the 6-card spread. And then it lists all 42 principles of Ma'at, which I did kind of show you a second ago, but here it is again. And then it just goes straight into the card meanings. I'm just going to see if there's anything at the back. And then acknowledgments at the very, very back. And then just like a little, I assume the artist is Natalie Miller and Jennifer Sodini is the author. A couple of incredible women. I can say that right now just by looking through the cards, and that's all I know. I can already tell. Okay, let's read the I Am Kind. So there's 2, basically all of them have about 2 pages, but it does vary. Some of them a little less than 2 pages, some of them a little more. The name Homo sapiens literally translates from the Latin as wise man. Yet while we are blessed with the wisdom of conscious awareness, navigating our human awareness is a very complex experience. Human beings are earthbound, yet we dream of the stars with an inexplicable type of homesickness for the celestial. We have the ability to study and understand the intricacies of quantum physics and build spaceships to transport us out of our atmosphere and into the unknown. At the same time, we also have the ability I'm not reading very well today, to transcend time and space and explore the unknown galaxies within our consciousness through meditation, breath work, and entheogenic medicines. I've never seen that word before. We are capable of such beauty, such feats of imagination and creation, yet at the same time, humanity also expresses a potential for actions that can be so cruel, cold, and cunning. So I'm creating a shadow with the guidebook. I'll put it on the other side here. Humankind and human kindness are not mutually exclusive, but being a part of humankind does not mean that all of humanity possesses kindness and compassion. We each have a capacity for it, but our ability to express this truly special part of our spirit can at times feel like a great challenge. We have a unique opportunity to experience both empathy and sympathy. We can share the feelings of another and also express concern and or pity for their sorrow and loss. The scales of empathy and sympathy may at times be weighed down with a heavy heart or lack of compassion, and thus when human frailty comes to the forefront, we must be reminded of what it means to embody the ideal of kindness. Charles Darwin believed that humanity evolved due to the advent of language and fire. Hey, there you go. That's why fire is here, right? Words terraformed what was once a foreign terrain, and fire allowed for light, nourishment, and protection. Alchemically speaking, this evolutionary formula is still ever present, but in the hidden layers of what the alchemists call the secret fire, which is believed to be thought in the highest sense. Thought forms into formed thoughts. Thought forms into formed thoughts, the divine spark of the imagination. Our words map the territories we forge with our intentions. Our inner fire is what nourishes our soul and protects our inner light. Words ignite the inner fire of human kindness, and kindness is kindled through compassionate acts, intentional language, and conscious thought patterns. Love burns away fear, and human beings free of fear allow for kindness. Okay. Sorry, guys. Love burns away fear, and human beings, free of fear, allow for kindness's wisdom to be experienced by all through catalyzing evolution with conscious awareness. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack in that. Like, I almost feel like I don't know what I just read, I think it's beautiful. I think there's wisdom in all of that, but it's kind of like the kind of writing that you kind of have to chew on. But here's the beautiful thing about this. Just looking at the cards is enough to get the message that you need. However, that's just my first impression. I've only read that one thing in this entire guidebook, but my first impression is that you can absolutely use this deck without the guidebook. However, if you want to really meditate with some beautiful words and ideas, you can. I like that. I like that because you can take it at face value and define it for yourself by just looking at the cards, or you can dive in and really get juicy with it with this guidebook, which is the best, in my opinion. That is the way that Oracle and guidebooks should be. They should be a way to go deeper, but you should also be able to just look at the card. So you can definitely do both with this Amenti Oracle, and I am incredibly happy with it. I'm not sure I've ever been so immediately connected to a deck. I think this might be I think it might be, I mean, I've had some decks that I've really loved the art, but most of the time, a deck, I kind of have to get to know it. And I do want to get to know this deck as well, but just my personal opinions, this deck is already singing to me. And so I just want to listen to it over and over so I can learn the words. You know what I'm saying? It's so beautiful. Thank you, Jennifer Sodini and Natalie Miller. Thank you so much for making this gorgeous, wonderful deck. I am so excited to get to know it, and I will probably be using it every day for the foreseeable future. And incredible. It's incredible. So thank you so much for creating this incredible, beautiful, wonderful Oracle deck. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.